Hi dear, welcome back to Timeless Wisdom. Have you ever felt that being overly open with your family sometimes does more harm than good? As we age, there's a natural inclination to be transparent and honest with our loved ones, often thinking that full disclosure is the best policy. However, the reality is that some matters are better kept private, not out of secrecy, but from wisdom. Not all things need to be shared, and in certain situations, keeping specific topics to ourselves can safeguard our inner peace and our relationships. In this video, we delve into 5 topics you might consider keeping private after the age of 65. This discussion isn't about concealing the truth or creating distance from your loved ones, but rather about maintaining your independence, alleviating unnecessary stress, and ensuring your personal boundaries are honoured. You may find that keeping some things close to your chest can bring a surprising amount of serenity. Stick with us to the end, as grasping these 5 aspects could fundamentally change how you interact with your family, enhancing your comfort in your senior years. Now, let's get started. Number 1. Financial decisions and assets. One of the most delicate subjects as we age is money. You might believe that being completely upfront about your financial status with your family will avoid confusion. But in fact, it often creates more trouble than it prevents. Telling every detail about your savings, investments, or even how much you prepared for retirement can lead to unwanted opinions, pressure, or even family disagreements, especially when different generations have different mindsets about money. Some family members may have good intentions, but their input or suggestions can begin to feel intrusive. In some unfortunate cases, people who once kept their distance may suddenly take a strong interest in your finances once they become aware of what you have. You might have seen it before. Someone in your age group opens up about their financial plans with their children, only to find their choices questioned at every step. Maybe you've watched a friend deal with ongoing pressure about how they should use their money, whether it's being told they should downsize, invest differently, or save more for grandkids. It's one thing to get guidance when you ask for it, but when others start to believe they have a right to influence your decisions, it can quickly become frustrating. And the truth is, once you let people know your entire financial picture, you can't take that information back. There's also the question of control. If your family starts viewing you as someone who's not making sound financial choices, they may feel it's okay to step in, sometimes with the best intentions, but not always in ways that respect your independence. You might come across remarks like, "Are you sure that's a wise way to spend your money?" Or, "Wouldn't it make more sense to give some of that away now rather than later?" Even if no one directly urges you, just being aware that others are observing and evaluating your decisions can feel unsettling. That doesn't mean you should avoid all financial discussions with your family. It's wise to have your estate plans in place and to share essential information when the time comes, but there's no need to disclose everything. The precise amount of money you have, how you choose to spend it, or whether you've made a recent investment, those are decisions that belong to you. If maintaining privacy about certain financial aspects allows you to enjoy life without unwanted feedback or judgment, then that isn't secrecy. It's discernment. Number 2. Health matters that are not pressing. As we grow older, it's common to face more health-related changes, and sometimes we feel tempted to mention every small ache, stiffness, or discomfort to family members. After all, they care deeply, and we want to keep them in the loop. But there's a line between updating loved ones on meaningful health issues and burdening them with minor complaints. Constantly talking about every small health concern can sometimes lead to unneeded anxiety, added stress, or even prompt family members to step in and make choices on your behalf before it's really appropriate. You might have gone through this mentioning something minor like sore joints or low energy, and suddenly you're caught in a discussion about doctor visits, diet changes, or which supplements you should try. Younger family members often act with the best intentions, but their worry can quickly feel like pressure. Before long, they're looking up remedies, booking medical appointments, or offering remarks like, "You really ought to take better care of yourself," as though you haven't been managing your own health responsibly for years. There's also a psychological effect to consider. If you frequently bring up health problems, even the smaller ones, your family may begin to perceive you as declining faster than you actually are. They might start treating you differently, assuming you're more vulnerable or dependent than you feel. Once that image is formed, it can be hard to shift. Suddenly, they're hesitant to invite you to certain events, questioning whether you can handle travel or suggesting you might need assistance, all because you mentioned your knees were acting up that day. Of course, it's essential to talk about serious health matters, especially those that affect your daily life or need family involvement. But choosing not to discuss minor issues doesn't mean you're hiding anything. It simply means you're preserving your independence. You have every right to manage your health without outside pressure or added stress. At times, choosing not to say anything is the most effective way to retain control over your own well-being. If you're still here, watching and finding this information helpful, drop a comment saying "Number 2" to let me know you're following along. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to do so and turn on notifications so you won't miss any upcoming videos. Your support allows us to continue producing meaningful content to inform and encourage you. Now, let's move ahead. Number 3, your honest thoughts about family disputes. Family relationships can be messy, and as we age, we often find ourselves drawn into issues we never intended to be involved in. Siblings clashing over a will, grown children holding on to past resentments, or relatives who just don't get along. These things occur in nearly every family. After living through enough years, you begin to notice the same patterns repeating, old grudges returning, familiar arguments resurfacing, and history echoing itself. It's easy to feel compelled to speak up, give your opinion, or clearly state who you believe is at fault, but more often than not, that only stirs up more tension. Perhaps you've been through this, trying to calm a dispute, only to end up caught in the middle, or sharing a strong opinion, thinking it would help, but later realizing your words were misunderstood. The difficult reality is that family disagreements often resolve on their own, or don't, with or without your involvement. And when things do settle down, people tend to hold on to what was said during the heated moments. Taking a side or voicing a firm opinion may leave a lasting impression. Even long after the argument has ended, the bitterness toward you might still remain. This becomes especially important when sharing your views about younger family members. Speaking your mind about a son-in-law, your daughter's parenting, or a relative's personal decisions might seem like honesty, but those comments often leave a lasting mark. People rarely forget when they feel criticized or judged, even if your heart was in the right place. What sounds like helpful advice to you may be heard as rejection by them, creating emotional distance that doesn't easily fade. That's why one of the most thoughtful habits you can develop after 65 is the art of intentional silence. You don't need to agree with everything or ignore issues altogether, but you also don't need to weigh in on every family matter. Sometimes, instead of offering advice, the wisest response is simply, "I hope it all turns out well," or "I trust you'll make a good choice." This way, you stay supportive without being dragged into a conflict that ultimately isn't yours to resolve. Keeping certain thoughts to yourself can be essential to preserving peace, not only for your family, but also for your own well-being. Number 4, regrets about the past. As time passes, it's completely normal to look back on your life, on the choices you made, the chances you didn't take, and the paths you could have explored. Everyone feels regret in some form, but that doesn't mean it always needs to be voiced, especially around family. You may feel inclined to open up about things you wish had gone differently, whether it's how you navigated your career, raised your kids, or made key life decisions. But what feels like openness or introspection to you can sometimes be misunderstood by those closest to you. When parents or grandparents speak about regrets, their children can easily take it to heart. If you say you wish you had worked less and spent more time at home, your kids might interpret it as, "I wasn't there enough for you." If you mention regretting not relocating or following a different dream, they might hear that your life with them lacked meaning, even when that's not the message you intended. These reflections can linger and create unnecessary guilt or tension. The same applies to past relationships. Even a light-hearted comment about an old flame might make your spouse or family feel like they were never your first choice. Reminiscing about lost friendships or missed opportunities can also subtly shift how others view you. Rather than remembering the strong, steady version of you they've always admired, they may start seeing someone who feels stuck or dissatisfied. That's why certain regrets are better kept private. It's perfectly fine to reflect on them, to work through them personally, and even grow from them. But voicing them to your family won't change the past. More often than not, it only adds emotional weight to those who care about you. The past can't be altered, but how you carry it with you moving forward is entirely in your hands. If you're still tuned in and finding value in this video, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're still with us. And if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to hit that button and turn on notifications so you won't miss future videos. Your encouragement helps us continue producing thoughtful content to inform and uplift you. Now, let's continue. Number 5, the complete overview of your financial situation. Money remains a complex topic within any family dynamic. It has the potential to bring people together, yet it can also ignite tension, create confusion, or lead to conflicts. As we grow older, the inclination to disclose more about our financial circumstances often increases. Details about savings, inheritance plans, or even ongoing financial challenges. While there are times when discussing financial matters is necessary, excessive transparency about your finances can lead to unforeseen issues. A major risk of revealing too much is how it may change the way others perceive and interact with you. If relatives know you have a substantial amount saved, you might find their behavior towards you shifts, with some possibly expecting assistance or subtly hinting at their hopes for future inheritances. Conversely, if you disclose financial struggles, it could lead to over-concern or judgment from family members regarding your decision-making. Final thoughts. Privacy can preserve peace. Being cautious with the details you share about your finances can prevent unintended consequences. Thank you for joining us today on Timeless Wisdom. Remember, sometimes the wisest thing you can do is cherish your privacy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more insights that help you navigate life's complexities with grace and wisdom. See you in the next video.